So this is not Merlin over here, but if you guys need help, I think this is great. I think you can have online Zoom sessions that would work as well, right? You've done some of the coaching I've seen over
One of
Zoom.
my clients was in Melbourne in Australia, and I'm
Yeah,
just thinking, this is crazy, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. So I can see if you guys are listening, right? And if you're struggling with something, and of course, this is not about addiction. This is about more of the cravings and stuff like challenges that you're having with that. If you need to see a mental health professional, of course, that's where you have to go. But if it's something just kind of like it will support your goal, you're having cravings, you're having issues with this associations that are maybe not supporting your goal. I invite you to reach out to Craig and have him go through a session or a few sessions, whatever it's going to take to you guys to get work through this, because I have seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it work with people that I know Craig that went with him. Quite actually, at least two people that I know of so far. And I sense that Craig, as you would mention, you were skeptical about this. You saw it happen in front of you, and you're like, this is fake. You saw your friend doing it, and you're like, okay, maybe this is something. And then you still came out of it, and you're like, I don't know if this works. Let me try it on some of my friends and my colleagues. And then you're seeing it work again, but you're still kind of skeptical, which is cool in the way I see it, because you're not trying to make it seem like it's magic. You're not making it seem like it's the answer to everything, but you have developed a set of skills and techniques now that can support people in making improvements to their life. So I want you to talk about that, maybe that skepticism that you experienced, and maybe how you're starting to come over it a little bit.
I think nowadays we're all just programmed to think or to look for, if it's too good to be true, stay away. We see all the time on the media, on TV, adverts. You know what it's like. Something's advertised as the best thing ever. You buy it, it breaks, it's crap, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't live up to its name or whatever. Disappointed. We don't want that. So I think we're just programmed nowadays to be skeptical. We're uh, we are aware to some degree that everything is trying to grab our attention. There's ads everywhere. We get bombarded with emails, and again, we're just primed to just say no to things like this, and I'm no exception. So to go down to this event, I just thought it was going to be, hey, we're going to teach you how to speak to yourself. We're going to teach you how to, change how you believe, maybe challenge some beliefs so
Mm-hmm.
you can set some more efficient goals and get to them, blah, blah, blah. And then to actually go through these techniques, I didn't realize that there would be techniques to learn, and to pass
Mm-hmm.
on. And then I saw technique after technique being done because they demo on the stage. I was like, no way, no way. And then we had to do it. So even at the event, we were doing it with the other attendees, going through the event for the first time and going through the exercises and the techniques, and just seeing it firsthand. I was like, okay, he's lying. And then I got to another technique with another woman, and the breakthrough she had, she was in tears. She came to some realization within her that what she thought was her original problem wasn't. It was actually tying back to some deeper issue that she had with her mom. And she was crying because she came to that realization, and she just felt super happy and overwhelmed that she connected those dots and overcame something deep within her. And I was like, wow, that was when I first was like, right, there's more to this, because within 30 minutes, we're having breakthroughs that people may not have experienced in their entire lives. We go through life kind of on autopilot. We think we're doing things right, and yet sometimes we just miss a chance to connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
These techniques are a good way to do that. So again, I seen that happen at the event. I was like, really cool, really cool. Um, and then again, when my friend done it, he and my colleague, he was a chronic nail biter, to tell his story. Chronic nail biter all his days. Tried everything, sitting on his hands, putting lotion on it. His family even bribed him with money. Uh, Nothing worked. He was always biting his nails, to the extent that he was, biting his fingers, chewing the skin, really raw, really not nice to look at, in his own words. And he put his hand up to volunteer for the demonstration. Chronic nail biting is a bit different to being addicted to foods, but it's just a negative behavior that he wanted to change. And that's something that, so another technique is if you have a negative behavior that's just annoying, you don't want to do it, what would you rather replace it with? You can replace that behavior. So he went onto the stage and we replaced it. So instead of biting his nail, I believe he just replaced it with, he just wants to take a big deep breath and be calm and cool and collected. And since the event, he hasn't bitten his nails once. And that was within another 15-minute technique. And again, me witnessing that was like, all right, I believe it now. And then I think just trying it out and seeing it. And I always try and reach out. So after a technique, I reach out one week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. I'm trying to just to find if it's going to break. Is it going to break? Are people going to even go back to their, you know what it's like? Oh, I'm on this diet, and then 2 weeks later, are you still on a diet? Nah.
Yeah.
I want to see if it's like that. And so far, these have been like lasting changes, and I truly believe that these are permanent. When you're speaking to the unconscious level, you're creating these changes unless you somehow insight internally, because again, everyone can do this. Go back to the old pattern, readjust it yourself, and unless you consciously decide to overrun that somehow, then that's the only chance I can see about you going back to those old behavior patterns. I am slowly starting to realize that these are really powerful, and I would love to get this more out there. And again, there's nothing special about me. Everyone is capable of this change, of these changes, and even no matter what level you're at, people who are like highly successful in business and in coaching or whatever go to these events, and so far from what I've seen, everyone leaves equally blown away and shocked.